Hello everyone and welcome to the end of week 2 review for English for the Workplace. I'm Jenny, one of the educators on the course, and I've really enjoyed working with you this week. There have been so many thoughtful and interesting comments and you've all been really supportive of each other, which is great. I really do love this whole course, but this week, which is all about interviews, is perhaps my favourite week of all. And this is because we quite often get participants at the beginning of the week saying, oh, they find interviews really difficult and stressful, but often by the end of the week, the comments are much more positive. And many of you finish the week by saying you feel much more prepared for an interview than you did at the beginning, which is great news for us. So the key word there was prepared, feeling prepared. And as we've learned this week, the key to a successful interview is preparation and practice. And thank you to all of you who shared your tips on interview preparation in step 2. There were lots of really good tips there, which I would recommend you go and check out if you haven't already done so. Probably my tip of the week is from Jose Rodriguez, who suggests that when you go along for your interview, while you're waiting and on your way in, you greet all of the staff, from the guard to the receptionist to the janitor, and get familiar with them and show your friendliness, Jose says. Well, I love this tip because it's such a small thing. It seems like a simple thing, but it's a really, really good idea. Firstly, I guess it's just a nice thing to do. But secondly, these people are going to be your future co-workers, possibly, hopefully. So it's a really good idea to say hello and have a chat with them. Find out a little bit more about the place you might be working, or get an impression of it. And also making small talk while you wait can really help you to deal with these interview nerves before the interview, which is a great thing. So some very good tried and tested advice from Jose. Thank you, Jose. Now, there were many other good tips for interview preparation, some really comprehensive to-do lists. I liked the one from Marina Ribalco, which was a very nice kind of step-by-step to-do list, which ended up with a stroll in the park to calm your interview nerves just before the interview. I think that's a really good idea, as long as you don't get lost in the park. Now, we also looked at typical interview questions. So tell me about yourself is quite a typical one. And a real bonus of this question, or any kind of variant of the tell me about yourself question, is that you can practice it until you know exactly what you want to say. Now, many of you did have a shot of answering this question, and there's lots of really good examples of how you could answer it on step 2.10. Now, the best answers on this step aren't just a list of claims. They may describe the person's personal qualities, skills, or experience, but they'll give examples to back these claims up. And if you're wondering what I mean exactly, there's a really good example of this written by Jolt M on this step, and I'll put a link to that at the bottom. One of the language areas we focused on this week was must, mustn't, have to, and don't have to. Very useful when it comes to talking about interview do's and don'ts. Well, there's lots of things you must do at an interview, lots of things you have to do. Is there anything you don't have to do? Well, something you don't have to do in the UK, at least, is to answer personal questions about your marital status or your plans to have children. I mention this because it came up once or twice in the future plans section when we were discussing what plans it's okay to talk about at an interview and which plans it's better to keep to yourself. And a couple of you said that it was okay to it was okay to answer if an employer asked you these personal questions. So yeah, just to point out that certainly in the UK at least, an employer certainly shouldn't be asking you personal questions at an interview. Now finally, you had the chance to share some final tips. Lots of you mentioned the importance of feeling confident in yourself. This can be a difficult state to achieve, so my question for you at the end of this week is, how can you personally make sure that you do feel confident at an interview? And do you feel that the tips you've gained this week will help you to feel more confident? Or are there still some things you need to work towards to feel as confident as you can? This week we also had a really good Facebook Live session where we spoke about all kinds of work and learning English related topics. So many thanks to all of you for your interesting questions and for being there. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, whatever your plans are. If you've got a job interview coming up, then good luck. Remember to get plenty of rest and relaxation so you're feeling your best on the big day. And thank you to all of you for your hard work and contributions this week. And see you next week when we'll be looking at all you need to know for getting off to a good start in your new job. Goodbye.